Good afternoon, everyone. So I am going to come to you today. I kind of did not announce this, so this is just spur of the moment coming to you for our first nutritional education talk. So I'm just going to give a couple minutes so that you guys can hop on. We're going to be talking about meal plans and power of protein and why protein, consuming protein in certain amounts is important. So I'm going to just wait one moment here, maybe 10 seconds, and then I'll just start talking, and if people jump on, great. Otherwise, you are welcome to watch this video later. So in the meantime, I've seen a lot of people wow, let me start that over. I've seen a lot of people doing the water challenge. This is a half gallon. So if you are doing any of the challenges, I would love to hear which one you're doing and how it's going in the comment section. And yeah, all right, so I'm 1 minute in, so I'm just gonna get started. So you guys, I'm gonna talk about meal plans and protein, as I mentioned. You guys should have all went on your coach's page that I had private messaged each of you to fill out your wellness profiles. If you haven't, I would highly recommend doing so today, because you are gonna get a customized meal plan according to the goals that you fill out. So I'm just gonna give you an example here. So if you have filled it out, go by those numbers. If you haven't yet, go by these numbers until you fill that out, so you get a little bit better understanding what we're talking about. But every person has a unique protein number that they need to be eating, as well as calories. So in order to get great results, it's all about calories in, calories out, carbohydrates, proteins, healthy fats, having that balance in nutrition. So throughout the day, you need to be eating a certain amount of protein in order to repair and restore your muscles adequately, so that your body's not breaking down your muscle. We want your body to break down fat first, not your muscle. So for the typical woman, you should be consuming on average around 100 grams of protein a day. Now that doesn't mean one meal. That means broken down throughout the whole entire day. I almost just fell off my chair there. Broken down between 5 to 6 meals throughout the day, between snacks and meals. So please do not eat 100 grams of protein in one sitting. You will not feel great. You'll be very angry, especially like me. So between 5 to 6 meals. So easy mathematicals here, 100 grams of protein, divide that by 5 meals. So that's 3 regular meals. That's breakfast, lunch, dinner, but then 2 snacks. If you were to do 25 grams of protein for each 5 of those meals, for an example, that's 100 grams of protein. Very simple. Our shakes themselves with Herbalife are 24 grams of protein, so there you go. Snacks-wise, you can do 2 servings of cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is around 12 to 15 grams of protein, depending on what you're getting. Times that by 2, so if you did 2 servings of it, for an example, that would be around 25 grams of protein as well. And you can always add in an additional snack after dinner. That is the typical woman meal plan. Now men typically on average need a little bit more than that. So we'll just say for the average man, it's around 150. It's anywhere from 100 to 200 depending on their body type, obviously. We'll just shoot for the middle at 150. So 150 divided by 5 is around 45, I believe. Let me check my math here. 150 divided by 5 is 30. So you just have to do 5 more grams of protein in every single meal. So what that could look like is you can add powdered peanut butter to your shake. You can add our personalized protein, which is an extra 5 grams of protein, and many other options as well. So that's an option. And that's just kind of an example. And I'll write all this out and send it in a picture in the comment here. But that's really how to effectively start to get great results, is eating the adequate amount of protein, but also staying within your calories. So on average, a woman should be eating around 1,200 calories. If you are doing more exercise, obviously it is recommended you eat more calories and more carbs to kind of replenish the energy that you're putting out there, so you're not depleting your body. But yeah, so men on average 2,000, 1,500, depending on your body type. And as I said, if you haven't filled out the online one, go on your coach's website. If you don't have that information, just put a comment in this video and I will send you a link via private message so that you have somewhere to go. And then another thing too is you can meet one-on-one with your wellness coach, and they can really get you like like a critique number. So it's not like an average. So on average, it might say 100, 120, where you might need 107. You can always eat more. Just be aware with per meal. For women, typically do not go over around 35 grams of protein. Our bodies just can't break it down, as well as men can, because our body types are typically a little bit smaller. But our body processes not that much protein in one sitting, where men can typically do around 45 to 50 max. Now, if you're consuming more than that, so say you're a gentleman and you're consuming 70 grams of protein in one meal, you're gonna feel full and you're gonna think that you're storing that, but what your body's gonna do is that extra that it can't break down, it's gonna store it as fat. And then you'll start to bulk up. So you'll see those people that are eating tons of protein in one meal. They're eating the 70, 80 grams of protein in a meal. And you'll see that they'll start to bulk up because that's what they're looking for, but then they have to go through a cutting stage. So what happens is they'll eat that excess protein that their body doesn't break down will store as fat. So they will bulk up, but then they'll have to go extra cardio and do a cutting phase in order to see like the washboard abs, which is ideally what they're looking for. And if you just focus on the 45, 50 grams in a sitting, do that per meal, you'll bulk but also cut at the same time, so you don't have to go through two different stages of bulking up for men that are looking to do that. So just an example for you. So try not to do the too much over 35 to 40 for a woman. Men, 45 to 50 is kind of the max per sitting. All right, so that's the meal planning. And I'm gonna go over protein. So what I'm gonna do is I'm literally gonna be reading a little bit because Herbalife has many PhDs on staff, and I'm not a doctor, so I trust in them. I think we have 26 PhDs in Herbalife that basically ensure that the nutrition that we're consuming in our products is really good quality, top-notch, best of the studies. And so we have a couple of doctors that have written some, what are they called? Papers on protein, and I'm going to be reading a little from Dr. Susan Bowerman. She actually did a training up in Minnesota for some of our friends up there. They got to hear strictly from her in person, so really cool. And we got to hear from Dr. David Heber, who was rated one of the top doctors in our nation, from his peers, which is other doctors, not Herbalife doctors. So he's been voted one of the top doctors the past 15 years, and he is on our staff in Herbalife. So just knowing that the nutrition and the meal plans and all of this information that we're given as wellness coaches is from some of the top doctors in the nation. So a little bit about protein. So as you guys know, protein is a macronutrient. Our bodies we need to be consuming protein because it is essential. It is essential to repair and restore our muscles that we break down. But what it says here is the proteins that you eat are made up of small units called amino acids. Some of you may have heard that before. You often hear amino acids described as building blocks because these small individual units are assembled in various ways to build up proteins. The way that you can think of amino acids, if you're not really into that sciencey stuff, amino acids are kind of similar to letters of the alphabet. So if you think about our alphabet, we have 26 letters that make up the English alphabet. Some words are shorter, some are longer, but it comes from different letters to create words and sentences. And it's the same thing if you think about protein, is that there's different amino acid chains and amino acids themselves that kind of get put together that have different effects on your body to help repair your muscles as well. So just as the letters are strung together to make words, amino acids can be strung together in different sequences and different lengths to make different proteins. And they have different meanings and all that. So the proteins that you eat come from different sources as well. So there are sources from plants, there's from milk, from meats that we have. They all have different chains. So let me see here. I'm not trying to give you guys too much sciencey stuff. So eating the right amount and the right types of protein every day is important for a couple of reasons. For one thing, if you consistently had a shortage of protein in your diet, so for example, that number that is given to you on your wellness profile, if you fall short of that consistently, your body is going to start breaking down your protein rather than the fat. And we want it to focus on your fat, not your protein. So when you eat the vital amount of protein per day, that recommended value, it's acting as a shield on your protein sources so that we keep your lean body mass where it is or increase it rather than decreasing it. So if you consistently had a shortage, your body has no choice but to start breaking down proteins within your body to provide the amino acids needed to produce the most vital body proteins. So while this process of building up and breaking down happens in your body all the time, the system only works as long as there are adequate amino acids coming from the diet to keep the two processes in balance. So that comes into play with two different types of protein sources. We have the complete sources of protein, and we also have the incomplete sources of protein. So as I mentioned, I actually never mentioned this. There's 20 different amino acids that your body uses to manufacture body proteins. 9 of them are essential, which means that you have to eat them. Your body doesn't make them, so it has to come from your food sources. So proteins that come from your animal sources, such as your meats, your fish, your poultry, eggs, your milks, all contain essential amino acids. So they're referred to as the complete proteins, meaning you can eat that and all the amino acid, the essential ones that your body does not make are in those sources. Now, plant proteins are found in foods like beans, lentils, nuts, and whole grains, with the exception of soybeans. Soybean is considered a complete protein. It does have all of the essential amino acids in it. All of the other plants are incomplete. They lack 1 or more of those essential 9 that we need to ingest. So if you are a vegetarian, for example, you need to be eating different sources of plants to make sure that you're equaling the 9 different amino acids that we need to eat, the 9 essentials. So that is kind of a little insight on the protein. Let me see if there's anything I missed. Protein has many important functions in the body. One of the primary roles of protein is to manufacture important body structures, including muscles, organs, your skin, and your hair. Hormones and enzymes are vital proteins that help the body perform various functions and are manufactured from the amino acids supplied from your diet. So that is what I've got on protein and meal plans. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be emailing you guys the exact information that Herbalife provides for us so that you guys can do a little bit more reading. I just skimmed over one of the articles, but there's many more things that they provide. So that was one reason why I wanted you all to register so that I can send this information to you via email. And that way you can read a little bit more in depth about why some of the things that we're going to be talking about are really important. And if you guys have any questions, comment below, reach out to your wellness coach. We're always here for you. Awesome job. I'm loving all of your guys' posts. It's so inspiring to see you guys, the decisions you're making, getting away from the unhealthy options that are around you. You guys are doing incredible. Keep it up. You're halfway through week 1, and I'm excited to see what results we get in this first week. So everyone have an awesome day, and we will chat soon.